Okay, we are going live now. Uh, Please tell me whether you can hear me or not. Just tell me in the chat, and then we can begin. Okay, fine. So everybody can hear me. That is good. So I welcome you here. And today we are going to talk to a student, actually a student in Australian University, who is doing MS from there. His name is Harvinder Sethi, and he is going to share his experience with you. And let me tell you first my motivation why I have planned this session with Harvinder. A few days ago, two students came to me and were asking about this kind of program, how they can go for the MS in some foreign university. Specifically, they were asking about Australia. Then I found, or then actually, uh, I remember that already a student who I know is studying in Australia. So I called him that time and thought of sharing all his experiences with you as well. So I have requested him because he's very busy these days, as it's going on its second year and he's actually in some internship. But I have requested him to give some of his time, valuable time, and share his experience with you. He will share his whole journey with you. If you have any questions regarding all these things, uh, you can ask your queries in the comments, and please share this link with as many friends as possible, because I think this is going to be very helpful for you. Most of you might think that we are coming from middle class family, or we don't have that much money. So is it possible for us to go Australia or some other country? So answer is yes. You have some options, and how we are going to do that, how we can go there, how can we study there if you wish to do so. Harvinder is going to share all the details. All right. So basically, he's going to share whole roadmap. I've also shared a Google form with you in before this event, and I have got some questions there. Around 15 questions are there. Basically 15 unique questions. So I have filtered them out, and now I'm going to share all these questions with Harvinder. So let's begin, and welcome Harvinder here. He is with me.
Hi
Hello,
guys.
Harvinder.
Hi everyone. Hi sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Just fine. Not too bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, how is your study in Australia going on?
Yeah, how is just going really good. I'm about to finish my masters in data
Okay.
science, and I'm working. I'm interning in a Canadian organization, and also volunteering into other organizations, and doing a casual job as well, side by side.
Okay, great, great. So, guys, Harvinder is actually doing MS from RMIT, and he's doing MS in data science. So, he'll be sharing his whole journey with you. First question that I'm going to ask Harvinder is, what is the eligibility criteria of studying in some foreign university, specifically in Australia? In this case, we are asking.
So coming to the eligibility criteria, uh, first of all, we definitely need to have a IELTS score, and every university has their own set of rules for the IELTS score or PTE score. So some universities accept IELTS, some universities accept PTE score, and let's say and it depends on the program and the university you are enrolling in. So let's say if you selected RMIT or University of Melbourne or any other university, so you go on their website, you search for your program, and you have the requirements, and that requirements are the only requirements that are basic necessary for the foreign affairs to check and allow you, and that's just the IELTS score. So your IELTS
Okay.
score is really important before you even move on into technical domain and take the admission and apply for it.
Okay. Okay. So there are two exams that I have basically heard. One is IELTS and another is TOEFL exam.
Yeah.
So in Australia, both the examination, you can go through both the examination, or only IELTS is necessary.
IELTS is preferred, but TOEFL, and there is one more Pearson test, PTE as well. So that is also acceptable. But IELTS is preferred, as in future, if you'll apply for different visa or PR or citizenship, then also it would be helpful. So yeah.
Okay. So how much score is basically needed to go to Australia in the IELTS?
So at least out of 9, you get at least 6 or 6.5. So we have in
Okay.
IELTS, if you go in IELTS, you have reading, listening, speaking, and writing. So you
Okay.
have four kind of tests in IELTS, and you're scored based on how you perform, of course, out of 9. And 8 is considered super high, and 9
Okay.
is extremely outstanding.
Okay.
Most of them get between 7 and 8, but it's really good if you're getting between 7 and 8 overall. So you're basically marked on all of the 4 steps: reading, listening, speaking, and writing, and
Okay.
overall cumulative score is considered. But all the 4 individual scores are also considered. So let's say if you
Okay.
got 6,677, so your average would be 6.5. But that's somewhere satisfied, and the minimum requirement of the organization is 6.5. That's okay. But if they have a specific requirement that listening and writing should have minimum of 7.7, but you don't have
Okay.
that, so individual scores also matter.
Okay. Means there is an individual cutoff also, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So
Not
one question I have from one student. Okay, you can continue.
yeah. So not only in IELTS, in any other English test, for
Okay.
any other country as well, individual score does matters.
Okay. Okay.
It depends on your course as well,
Okay.
but usually it will
So
matter.
okay. So there was a question from one student. Let me ask you this question. He said that either he or she, I don't know. Is it possible for a middle class person to afford these kind of expenses? Because I think someone is going for it. And the second question or first question, I am picking this because this is the point from one could have some confidence whether he or she can go there or not. So we can start with this.
Yes, sure. So my answer would be yes, and 100% yes, you can. You just need the right spirit and confidence. So even I'm from a middle class family, and I did my bachelor's and I worked for 2 years. Then I got I got to learn the value of money and how I spend my life outside and knowing other people and different personalities. So I eventually learned that atmosphere, and I knew my potential. So I knew that if I can go outside, I can probably earn my living at least, and then maybe contribute to my tuition as well. So when I moved here, I had that confidence that I can do, because I was already working in an organization and I left and moved here. So, but even if you are just graduating and you don't have that experience, but you have that confidence and spirit, it's a really good opportunity that you can get part-time jobs, casual jobs, and n number of different jobs over here, and you can get your living done absolutely very easily. Your living would
Okay.
be no issue, that's for sure. So
Okay.
you
So
and
what is the approximate fee of a university on an average?
yeah, so there is a group of 8 organization in Australia. So a
Okay.
group of 8 organization means top cream 8 universities in Australia. So there comes University of Melbourne, RMIT,
Okay. Okay.
Beacon University. If you just
Mhm.
search group of 8, you'll get all of
Okay.
these lists on Google.
Okay.
So University of Melbourne, RMIT, Deakin, Monash, and few others. So these are the
Okay.
top universities, and they have kind of similar fee structure. But
Okay.
the competency in getting an admission and an offer letter is in the scholarship part, and
Okay.
that complements the fee structure as well. So the
Okay.
basic fee structure is around 40 to 45 lakhs for the 2 years course of masters.
Okay. So this is the tuition fee you are talking about, right?
Yes, that's the
Okay.
complete tuition fee. You will be giving in 4 installments in semester by semester.
Okay.
Yeah,
And what about the other part that your living
yeah,
cost and
yeah. And your living cost, it comes around 30,000, 30K per month. Your living, yeah. So 30 to 40,000 per month would be your living cost if you're in budget. But yeah, if you save and spend less on items which you can compromise for sure at
Okay.
the very start.
Okay,
Uh,
so we can basically consider it around 50 lakh in 2 years approximately, right? We can mark it something like that.
yes,
It's an average, but you said that we can get some scholarship also,
yes, for sure.
and then fees will be reduced after this. Right?
Yes.
So, what is the criteria of that scholarship? That does IELTS play some role in that?
Yeah, so there are a lot of different factors that uh, are taken into concern by the organization and the government of the country which you are applying. So the scholarship is, first of all, there is a myth in people that they think the scholarship is only available from the university, but there are
Okay,
different scholarships which are available from the government as well. And if you are capable enough, your application has a strength and um, documents that possess your knowledge and stuff, then definitely you'll automatically apply to the government and the university scholarship both. So coming to your application and scholarship, if you if you're just if I'll say scholarship, your IELTS score definitely is considered. If you have a good IELTS
okay,
score, it does matter. And your letter of recommendations, your
okay,
statement of purpose while applying,
okay,
SOP, and also the university in which you are applying. So let's say and there is a acceptance rate of the university as well. So admission acceptance rate, if you just Google that university and your domain in which course you're applying, so what is their
okay.
acceptance rate? So if that acceptance rate can give you an estimate of where you lie and what all experience and quality documents you hold for that application, because most of the applications have an initial fee as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
So there are a lot of things like a student want to apply to multiple universities, right? He or she need to go to every website and then search for this. Isn't it a difficult process? So how someone can process these things easily?
Yeah, so my journey was also kind of like what you just said. So to make it easier, I was looking for other resources while I was applying by myself. And I
Okay.
figured out when you're, as I said, the first process is the IELTS and the English test, whichever
Okay.
you take. So the first process is that. And the only authorized organizations for the IELTS test are IDP and British Council.
Okay. IDP and British councils. Okay.
Yeah. So these two guys are the major leaders for conducting the IELTS test, and then you can contact them. They are in different cities in India. You can contact them. They will book you for the test. They will tell you the charges. They will also send you the hard copy of the material which you can
Okay.
prepare, and that's how I processed my IELTS. So it was really helpful. I did with IDP. The fees
Okay.
is same for the IELTS test, no matter where
Okay.
you apply. But
Okay.
IDP gives you the study material as well. British Council does not.
Okay. So how much time it take to prepare the exam like IELTS? If
Uh,
someone want to score around 7 or 8, you said.
yeah, a seven score of seven is really good. It's fine. Most of the universities will accept you for any course or a PhD as well. So if you want to get seven each, 7 bands each, I think surely it depends on what background are you coming from. If you're an English medium school student and English medium graduate bachelor student, then it would take less time, probably 1 month or even lesser. But
Okay.
if you think and you know that your English and grammar, basically the grammar, you know that you're lacking with the words, and
Okay.
if you want to speak something you're not able to, then
Mhm.
definitely you have to have a good coaching or something, because the test is
Okay.
expensive. So I would
Okay.
recommend to take some time, probably 2 months, and book it after once you're done.
So what is the cost of IELTS exam approximately?
uh, um, it might have changed because I did it a couple of years ago, but
Okay.
as far as I remember, it should be around 10 to 15K. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. So one someone is asking how much scholarship we can expect. You said that there are multiple factors behind that. So there are some factors, right? So how much scholarship one can get? If and what are the factors like a research paper you said, IELTS exam you said. So
So yeah, well, scholarship, as I said, depends on the different factors. I'll repeat. So it is your IELTS score, number one,
okay,
and your if you have any research paper in the relevant domain, and how good is your academic score, and if you have got any achievements, not just
okay,
a letter of participation or certificate of participation, but any
mhm,
achievement or certificate that uniquely identifies you that you have
okay,
achieved, and also the letter of recommendations and SOPs. So you have to write a statement of purpose to any organization which you are applying to, right?
okay,
So yeah, so in that you have how good you portray yourself. Why do you want to study with them, and why you choose this course? So if you are motivated enough to write that, and you have good score
okay,
in these documents. And one more thing, if you're an engineering student and you want to pursue your master's or PhD, so I hope you guys all know about the GATE examination.
right.
So yeah, so
Most of
if
the
you
student
have
I
a good
think know
rank,
about it.
yeah, so if you have a good rank in GATE examination, then probably you'll be in a high chance of getting a scholarship
Okay,
and offer
okay, great.
letter.
So what about GRE examination? Someone is also asking about GRE. When one can take the GRE, like when does one apply for the admission process in the third or fourth year? So is it necessary for Australia or maybe other European countries to have GRE?
Yes and no. So Australia doesn't have a
Okay,
requirement for GRE, but
okay,
US and UK does. So
okay,
yeah, so they definitely does have the requirement, but here it can be PTE or IELTS. That's sufficient enough for
okay.
the application.
So okay, so if someone want to take GRE or maybe want to go UK and US,
Yeah.
so when should he take the examination of GRE in third or fourth year of bachelor examination?
I would suggest in the seventh semester, that is the fourth year, but the seventh
Okay,
semester, because all of this process takes time, and
okay,
definitely your determination does matter. So if you procrastinate things, still you have a buffer of time. So I would say start it from the seventh of semester. So you search your universities, decide on the list, and then see what score they want, and
okay,
apply for the test. Start
okay,
preparing first, and as soon as you gain confidence, then you can apply for the test, and the test is valid for 2 to 3 years. Different tests have different validity, so there is no rush. You have the test, and then you can apply for the universities anytime between those 2 to 3 years.
okay, okay, great. One student is also asking about Canada and Australia. So someone asked what is the difference or who is better between which one is better between MS and CS, Australia or Canada? And also asking another question related to Canada. How to get a scholarship for Canadian universities in MS?
Okay, so to answer that, I would take you a little bit uh, to my path. How did I get it, and how I think would help you out as well. So I have completed my bachelor's in IT, and then I worked for 2 years as a full stack web developer. I also have some teaching experience, and I have a GATE score as well. So around all India ranking of 3500. So based on that, and I have a good IELTS score of 8 out of 9,
Okay,
overall 8. So, and I do had good letter of recommendations from different IITians and um, other statistical organizations as eyesight and stuff. So, um, and I do have one research paper as well.
okay,
So
great.
based on those documents, I applied for the application, and I have to write a special letter for the consideration of scholarship. In that, I have
Okay,
to state that I find myself having the potential, and I would like to apply for these scholarships or any
Okay.
other scholarship that your university think that I can fall in, because I have
Okay.
these scores. I'm gate qualified. I have this IELTS score. I have these strong letter of recommendations, working experience, or anything you can boast about. You can write, and you think that would matter to them. Any
Okay.
certifications and stuff. So that letter is attached to your application, and then they would revert you back if you lie in any of them. So you get 20%, 30%, 40%, 50% scholarships as well.
Okay. Depending on the your scores and all the research part, recommendation letter, and all
Yeah,
these things.
the more weightage of these kind of documents you have, that's the cream. Yeah, so they do have knowledge about gate and all of these tests. They
Okay.
definitely
Okay.
do.
Great.
It's not valid outside India, but they do have knowledge what content it covers and what is the weightage in our country. So definitely they do concern about this stuff as well.
Okay, so these processes are almost similar in Canada and Australia. The student was
Yes,
asking about that also. Okay, they are
yes,
similar.
it's extremely similar. Yeah, it's
Okay, any
extremely similar.
comparison in the universities, or
Yes,
what should the student do to compare the universities? Maybe there is some ranking which a student can follow to check whether which universities are good for them.
yeah. So I would say um, there is definitely a culture difference. So if you're really people minded people, like if you're a really people oriented person, so you like to have a good atmosphere and stuff, and you think that it would be difficult for you to be with white people or westerners, because there are less Indians, as we all know. There are less Indians in Australia as compared to Canada, and definitely it does matter somewhere. The work
Okay,
culture is almost the same, and
okay.
as I can see, someone is asking about the racism in Australia, so I'll
Yes,
cover that
some
here.
student is asking about that also.
Yeah, so there is no racism over here or in Canada, because they don't have any racism. But there is some racism in the context of citizenship. So when you apply for the job, if you have a good potential, you'll definitely end up in the job. I'll cover that in the later sections. But if there is a citizenship criteria, then they first prioritize the citizens of the country for that job
Okay,
if they have
okay,
any applicants. Otherwise,
okay,
you are free to apply. So there is no as racism as such that if you have relatives or someone left the job, then their relatives would be considered, or you can just call them up and even if
okay.
they don't have a knowledge and they can get a job. That's not going to work like that over here. So you definitely needs to have skills, and if you apply, then you can get it. And almost the process, an English test and the scholarship process is exactly same for Canada and here. But the only difference, as I said, is the culture and the people.
Okay.
So you will be more people. Yeah, you'll get more of our people over there, definitely. So if that
Yeah,
matters
right.
to you, you can go there. And the currency as well. So the currency is little bit low. The
Okay.
Australian currency is little bit high. So the initial expense would be higher.
Okay.
So let's say if I'm saying 40 lakhs for my course over here, so over there it would be around 34 or 33 lakhs. So yeah,
Okay.
it would be it would be, let's say, 15%, 12 to 15% less cost, overall cost from
Okay.
here.
So one more question that is related to cost, right? So we in the beginning we around calculated that on an average the cost is around 50 lakh for 2 years if someone is living in Australia and doing MS. So you might earn something there when you go Australia, right? But when someone want to go from India in the beginning, there is some investment on his part, right? So what should be that amount? How much one should have to go there?
Yeah, so let's say you decided X university, and let's say you don't have a scholarship,
Okay,
and the cost is Y. So you don't have to give or show all of the fees. You don't have to worry about everything at the very start. That 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs, there's a lump sum amount and this and that. You don't have to. Because you just, as I said in the very start, you just have to have that potential and determination that you will be able to make it. a little bit at least, and then you will be able
Okay.
to extend it. So the X university has a fee structure Y, so you will be giving Y by 4 of the initial as an initial installment. So the first semester you have 4 semester. If you have 4 semester, then it would be divided by 4. If you have n semesters, it would be divided by n. So if you're going for bachelor's, let's say you have 8 semesters, so you just have to pay first semester fee and
Okay.
IELTS and your IELTS score, and that's it. Bam, you can go in. And after that, you have to pay the second semester fees after 6 months. You have a lot of time, and that boils down to 40 lakhs, 40 lakhs, and then you divide by 4, and then 10 lakhs, and then 10 lakhs you'll pay, and after 6 months you'll pay 10 lakhs. And within those first 6 months, you can definitely get a part-time or a casual job to earn your living. So you don't have to borrow money from your parents for the living. If you find it, you can definitely get one, and it's very easy. And then you can save more and maybe put into your next semester's tuition fees
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. One student is asking why should someone stay abroad instead of Indian university? And another similar question is what differences or benefits one can see from foreign universities in comparison to Indian ones?
Yeah. So Indian universities and foreign universities difference I would like to cover first. So I can just tell this question is a little bit uh,
Maybe we can cover it later if you need to think more about this, or maybe you can share your experience regarding your studies in India
yeah,
in past
yeah.
or
I
in
can I can just
yes,
say my point. I can just tell it from my eyes, but that
yes,
may or may not be 100% true.
yeah, right,
That's just
exactly.
my perception on that.
Yeah, we'll put a
So what I
disclaimer
would
on this
say,
that it's only Harvinder's opinion, so you need to research more about this.
yeah, so I would say the differences would definitely be, first of all, the culture and the faculty members as well. So the knowledge and the research paper the faculty members have. So Indian institutions, if they are private institutions, they have the habit of getting cream from other universities and just getting them, or just getting the rank of the university higher. They don't focus on the placements or the quality of education. And when
Okay,
the placements come, they just they call the companies, invest in the companies, and do the bulk hiring and stuff. And then their ranking goes high, that the placements is going. At the end of the day, they are just making sure the placements is going up, and it does, because they call the companies, they have the MOU signed, and they call the companies have a budget, they bulk hire people, no matter whether you have anything or not. You get a 3-4 lakh
okay,
package at the start, and you're happy and you go. But the
okay.
thing
So
is,
what about placement kind of things in like Australia or any other foreign country? Do companies visit the campus and take students, or it happens some
no,
other way around?
yeah, so yeah, I would here's about I was coming to that. So
Okay,
what you do is so this is what Indian institutions cover, majorly focus on. But the way the education system is working there is like they are not focusing on the content of the subjects, whether it's your bachelor's or your master's. So that subject and content has a weightage in Western universities, whether it's Australia, Canada, or US, UK. So they focus on the content. If you have a subject, that subject will matter. That content will matter. The lecturer of that content has a high experience in only that domain, not just
okay,
any domain. And you are just putting
okay,
it over here. So that content is matter. You at the end you have a good potential and good confidence on all of those subjects in every semester, and your
mhm,
score indeed matters in the placement. It's not
okay,
like India. The difference, second difference, is the score. So your subject score, if you get a distinction, high distinction marks, does matter in the placements. And
okay,
also, there is no such word called placements.
okay.
Not in Canada, not in US, not in UK, not in Australia. There is
Okay.
no such word called placements. They don't focus on placements. No
So how
company
student to get
comes
job
in
means
the
what
campus.
is the what is the criteria or process of that thing?
That's the major reason and the major difference. They focus on the quality of education, then you have the potential to go out and apply yourself.
Okay.
So if you have that courage to go through this path, they have the courage to feed you knowledge, but then at the end of the day, you have to go out, search for the jobs, and motivatingly apply for those jobs, and you will definitely get those, because there is a good chance that you will get if you have a good knowledge of those subjects in your domain. You're liking that domain, you're loving your studies, and definitely you'll end up in a job. But there is no such company that would eventually come in and interview you and take you or not take you. You have to apply yourself, and I'll show you what all companies you can apply for and what all platforms you can use in the later on.
So basically, there is no concept of on campus,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
everything is on off campus.
Yeah. So these are some of the
Okay,
differences.
okay. Okay. One question is there. Please explain about how can I enroll in a foreign exchange program for 3 years of my BTech.
Okay. So foreign exchange
Some student is
program.
asking this question.
Yeah. So foreign exchange program, what I can relate is, if you every university in India, almost many of them have their foreign department as well. So if we say, uh, I'm a graphian as well, so we do have a foreign department. So those departments have a contact with different universities,
Okay.
and also they have a direct contact with the lecturers of those universities, and some
Okay.
of the lecturers have their research paper with those lecturers as well, so they have a personal touch. So if I would directly recommend you to go over there, have a chat with them and see what university or country you're interested in. If any of the lecturer or authority member or administration staff or any other person
Mhm.
has a touch with those people, so they can directly connect you and you can get the lead from there for the,
Yeah,
and if
right.
they have any program, so you can get the lead from there.
Yeah, there are foreign exchange programs running in the universities, and they have tie-ups or MOUs with foreign universities,
Yes,
and
that's,
that's what I know. Okay.
yeah, the MOU,
Uh,
that's exactly what's
yes,
wanted.
yes, right. So now there is a real question. Does taking gap after graduation and then applying for the post graduation has any adverse effect if someone is taking a gap
uh
after graduation? Just like you did, if you did 2 years of job, so we
yeah.
can say it's a gap or not. I'm not sure. If it is you are doing some job, you should not say that it's a gap. Basically, someone will be doing something, all right? And
Yeah.
but in the education terms, it's a gap between education, right? So I think the student is asking about that gap. So is has any effect, adverse effect in the
Uh,
admission process?
so I would say again yes and no.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
there does matter, but that's a very huge gap. So let's say if you have a 10 years gap, even if
Okay.
you are working and you have a
Mhm.
10 years or more gap, and you are pursuing a similar domain degree, then there are chances that they would not accept you for the
Okay.
offer.
Okay.
Yeah, and on the other side, it doesn't really matter to them, but then it would eventually point on to your scholarship part,
Okay.
because
So is
that's
it for
something
all
that
the programs? Is it for the all the programs like bachelor, masters,
for
and
Australia,
every
yes,
program? Okay, for Australia, yes. Okay. Fine.
almost all of the programs, if you have that this much of gap, so this is a government rule in the education sector that this much gap for a foreign university student,
Okay.
international student, is not accepted until
Okay.
and unless it's a tier 1 college or a tier 2 college. So
Okay.
that also matters. So yeah, in the scholarship part, I would just like to add on. So it definitely matters where you have done your bachelor's from, whether it's a tier 1 college, has IITs and IIMs as
Okay.
well. So yeah, that also matters for sure.
Okay. Okay. For the scholarship part, that part also matters. Okay. Uh, One more question: is there any plus point of getting admission in Geo 8 universities? Geo 8 is right.
Yeah, the group
Group
of
8.
universities. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Is there any effect? Again, the same question about placement. Is there any effect on placement by university name in Australia?
Yes, so I would answer both of them. So there is a drastic effect if you have got admits into group of 8 universities, because that's like the cream universities over here. You can get the offer letter from these universities, but it's tough to get the scholarship.
Okay,
But I would say it is worth uh, the studies and the content if
okay,
you're applying for any degree in here as well. So yeah, it does affects. And when you go, even if you go back to India and you have a Australian degree or a Canadian degree, so, and not just degree, but definitely when I say degree, I mean knowledge. I don't mean just degree. So even if you were not able to get a job over here and you eventually have to go back, nothing works out on your way. Let's say you have dropped everything, you just graduated, you want to go back, work in. So you can always go back to your country anytime after you graduate. And but if you have the knowledge of any of those subjects and you have interest and projects and the assignments, so the assignments are not just a cakewalk or you can just copy paste. So we have AI based plagiarism checkers in Australia and in any other organizations. You just
okay,
cannot copy that. In any degree, you cannot copy
okay.
it, not even a word. So if you do, you have to pay for that exam again, and you will be debarred, as we call it in India. So
Okay,
you have to
so
do
there
that
is a
submit
strict
again.
process for
Yes,
that.
yes.
Okay,
So that's why the score does matter. Yeah.
okay. One student has asked that can we go to Australia without IELTS exam? Is it possible?
No, it is not. And not only Australia, but I mean, it's funny as in US and Canada and UK, you cannot. So not just for student visa, but also for working holiday visa or any other visa, they do require the English test because they want to make sure that you understand their culture and you are not
Okay,
uh, doing any mischiefs over here. You understand what you're saying and you're not involved in anything. So that's the
okay,
major cause of that. Yeah.
okay. So one question is about job opportunities after MS in Australia.
Yeah, so I can share my screen on that, saying that
Yeah,
job
please.
opportunities, as I said, there is no placements as such. But if you just uh, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, I think they can see.
Yeah. So there are no such placements word in Australia, but there are a lot of companies that hire. So this is one kind
Can
of
you zoom?
document.
Can you zoom it? Can you zoom it more?
Yes, for sure.
Someone may be watching from their smartphone, so they might not able to see if it is in smaller fonts. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So I'll say, as you can see, these graduate programs and the companies list. So these are some of the organizations like this grad program listing sites. So these are some of the sites where you can probably have a look for the job openings. So some of you guys have been seeing this very often. There's LinkedIn and Indeed. So these are other uh, openings sites as well where you can just apply for the jobs. And there are these other companies where you have the direct URL access and you can just go to these programs and you can apply for their openings in different openings. So all of these companies are based in Australia. So this is one document of the companies list that is available from our university, that is RMIT. And so if you're in any other university, they probably do have the same document where you can just have a look at these websites, create your account, apply for these job openings, just have a look at the JD, tailor your resume accordingly, and just keep on submitting. Have the motivation of at least putting 5 to 7 applications per day. Every day you wake up, just apply for 5 to 7 jobs, and eventually you'll if you have good experience and projects done, even the assignments you do. So I said your score matters, your assignment matters, because even the assignments and scores you have, you can always put them up in social media platforms such as LinkedIn. Just post it that I've scored this much and I'm very happy. You can make connections from there. You never know, you can get jobs from there. So this is kind of a culture how we tackle placements, what we call it as placements in India. So this
Yes.
is how we cover those placements. So we have to be very alert. All of our projects, coursework, degree, and everything, and our social contributions, as in computer science, it's GitHub or CodePen or HackerRank or any other platform you have. Just chuck that in your resume, and you never know, anytime that can be seen, and your projects can be seen on GitHub, your assignments can be seen on GitHub, and the employer knows that, okay, yeah, he has done this work, he can do my work as well. So
Okay.
we can get a call. So this is what the placements look like. Yeah.
Okay, great. Uh, One student has asked this question. I want to do research in computer science field and want to go abroad. So what are the opportunity areas there? I think in this question you can share some of your experience of data science field, what you did in your bachelor's and now how much change is in there, and what
Yeah,
would be better if you would have done something in bachelor or maybe something like that. Your experience basically. So I think that will be helpful for this student.
sure. I'd love to share my experience. So, as I said, I did bachelor's in IT back in 2018, and but I was pre-placed from the campus, and I was working at the start of 2018, and then I worked as a full stack web developer, and then I did had a base limited experience of teaching and research as well. So I got the interest of going into data science because I have already had the web development and Android app development experience, and I wanted to do more automated work and stuff. So machine learning and AI was my interest, and I wanted to include all of them. And definitely, if I know how to build websites and stuff, and I know machine learning, so I can maybe probably come up with a product by my own as well in my future. So that's what my goal is, and I do have a plan for that as well. That's
Okay.
my major motivation for choosing this degree. And then coming to the uh, MS in data science or computer science, I would say there is a vast, I would say not vast, just drastic difference in the syllabus of the course
Mm-hmm. Okay.
covered in India and in these universities. As I
Okay.
said before, Indian universities majorly have a same set of syllabus continuing year by year. They just focus on the faculty members, their qualifications, their pay, and at the end of your degree year, or for them every year, they focus on the companies, how much companies are coming, how much people are getting placed. They don't focus on your brain and what content is getting inside, because they have all other stuff to focus on. But over here, it's completely opposite. They don't have to focus on the companies, so they just focus on you. They focus
Okay.
on you by focusing on the content of the syllabus. So for me, the content of the syllabus I have already. So the course you decide, you have a brief syllabus of all of the courses under the website of that university, any university you select. So you have a brief syllabus. Brief, I mean, if you just see database concept, you have a chapter by chapter syllabus. That first
Mm-hmm.
week you'll be covering this, second week SQL queries, third week this, fourth week that, and you have a brief syllabus, and who will be teaching as well, and what are their interests and background. So you have a brief experience of what you will be getting from that course, from that subject, and also um, so you can decide based on your syllabus that course as well. And also
Mm-hmm.
there is a credit transfer term as well. I would just like to add on the course syllabus,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because the credit transfer is like, let's say I have got a credit transfer, so I know. So I have done algorithms and analysis in my bachelor's and in my GATE as well. So I have a proven track record of 90% and above. So I can get an exemption in the similar subject in my master's for that course. So for that subject, I mean. So if you can show that you have done the similar syllabus in your bachelor's or in any other thing, you can prove them with the letter. You don't have to pay that subject fees. So your semester fees in one semester, if you have four subjects, so you'll divide this fees by four, and then you are not paying the one subject fees, then definitely it's reduced. But you'll get the credits and you'll get the weightage tick. So you'll get an average score on that, more than pass and less than full. So you get an average score on that if you can prove that you have a good score or you have done that course. So that's
Okay.
that. And the content structure is basically very different. So if you're focusing on the syllabus, you would definitely get some good knowledge. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I would say.
There is a question from one student. What is the syllabus of GRE? So I think we are not focusing on that much, but still, if you can give some idea to this student.
Yeah, sorry, but I haven't given GRE. But I think definitely, first of all, I was preparing, to be honest, and as far as I remember, I can tell you that you need to have a really, really good vocabulary for that. First of all, first and very foremost thing, vocabulary and grammar. You need to have very excellent vocabulary for that. So
Okay.
there are different platforms and apps. One of them I remember is Mongoose, which I was
Mhm.
using. So there is that app and website. You can get the paid version and free version as well. They have a game style UI in which they
Okay.
possess you to learn those words and stuff. And they frequently ask you those word meanings, and you select multiple options among them, and you learn that word eventually. So these kind of things might help in the syllabus.
Okay. So I think we will wind up with the last question. So
Yeah,
basically,
sure.
one question the student asked: is there a particular roadmap that one needs to follow with regard to the admission process and the examination that need to be taken? So I think
That's a
we'll wind up with this question.
yeah.
It will summarize everything, I think.
Yes, that's a wonderful question and the right timing, I guess. So I will quickly summarize and answer this question in short. So first of all, I said that IELTS score is mandatory. You select your university, you have a good IELTS score according to them. You select your course based on the syllabus. Then you have the courage to apply for that university and the scholarship. So in the scholarship, you prove all of those documents which you have. Anything you might think is good to show up, and just write a good statement of purpose, and just write in that I'm expecting a scholarship, or if I'm lying in any of them, please consider me. And then you can apply in that. And after that, after a while, as soon as they process it, and also for these process to make you easy, IDP is the is a very trusted source. They can help you with that. So just ring them up. Just tell them that you're wanted to apply for these stuff, and they would be in a good position to help you out in the process of applying. So they would apply on your behalf. You just send all of the documents and tell them
Mhm.
that these universities I want, this course. They will apply. They will talk to them directly. They will not charge anything, and they are legal and authorized personals. And in any other country as well, they are available. So there's a good source you can check out probably from there as well. And as soon as you get your offer letter, you definitely apply for visa. So then the visa step comes in. Then you will be first. Your IELTS score is used in the application.
Mhm.
So before even you apply, you need to have the IELTS score to tell them
Okay.
that I have the IELTS score.
Okay.
Then the second time IELTS score will be used in your visa application. For
Okay.
the visa application, you will Ministry of Home Affairs. You will be applying with them. There's a
Okay.
different process you can Google. So for that, you need to attach your offer letter, your scholarship letter, your
Mm-hmm.
IELTS score. That's
Okay.
it. So you'll attach whatever you get from the university, proving that I have a letter, I have an
Mm-hmm.
invitation, and I need to come into this country. You'll
Okay.
apply with them, and in that letter from the university, they have the start date, end date, and a buffer. So with that concern, you'll get that visa. That is the student visa. And after that, probably in Australia, it is like if you have a 2 years course, then you also have a 2 years work visa after that.
Okay.
You have to reapply for that. So this is the whole roadmap. I think
Okay.
I
Okay.
made myself
That's
clear.
great. Any more suggestions? Any last words for the students? What should they follow? What should they learn in their bachelor's program? So that it's
Yeah,
easier for them in the MS if they are going abroad, or maybe if they are doing MTech in India as well.
yeah. I would say even see. I would say at the end is um, don't think that it would be easy over here, and it is not easy in India as well. Similarly, getting a job, but the only difference you will get is the culture and the ease and the racism and these kind of stuff, which the atmosphere actually, the stress from the atmosphere would be a little less, and the working environment and the organization and the people around you. So that would make more difference, but the knowledge struggle is almost the same. So don't think it would be a cakewalk and you would be investing so much money and coming over here for the first installment as well. So if you really have determination for that course, then and only then I would suggest to apply for that country and that institute. Don't think
Okay.
about settling down PR or permanent residence here for the first hand. You just go for the knowledge from that course, and then on the basis of those knowledge and assignments and any other things, you can keep on keep on applying for the interviews. You have 2 more years after that, and then you have to have a job. Then also you have 2 years or 1 year's work experience in that job. Then you have to come back, then you can eventually get a job in India as well. Or maybe if you do well in your employment, the employer can sponsor you and you can keep on working with them. So the only thing is your determination and the kick. So yeah, that is more important. The course you decide, you should love that course. Yeah. And it should be relevant to your
Yeah.
bachelor's or previous degree. That's what
Okay.
I would
Okay,
say.
Harvinder. So it was an excellent introduction and excellent overview you have provided, or roadmap you have provided to the students. I hope many will get benefit from here. Many
Sure.
of many of the students were watching the live stream, and some of the students will surely watch the recorded part, which is already here available on the YouTube.
Sure.
So I thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule these days, as you are in the internship also. So thank you so much, Harvinder. See
No
you
worries.
next
No
time.
worries.
And if some help is needed, the student will surely get in touch with you. You can tell them some of your maybe LinkedIn ID, or somewhere
Yes.
if they want to ask you some question, they can drop there.
Sure. We can probably add that LinkedIn in the description below. So
Okay.
you can take it from there. If you have any questions, any queries regarding that, and you're really motivated to this particular course, I might connect you some personal, or if I have personal information about that, I would surely help you because I know what it takes. As when I was coming, I was not having much people around me to ask and stuff. So I would definitely want to be in that position that if I can tell something, I would definitely would. And it was
Yeah,
really a nice interaction with all of you guys. And thank you very much, sir, for this opportunity for sharing.
yeah, most welcome. It's
Always
always
glad to
great
share
if
the knowledge.
students who are in their maybe first or final year, wherever they are, it's very good if they can get some motivation or experience, learning from your experiences,
Yeah,
right?
that's great.
So thank you so much, Avinder.
No problem. Thank you so much, sir, for the
Okay, bye
opportunity.
bye.
Have
We'll
a
end the
good day.
stream now.